Hello friends, my name is Vikram and welcome to AVD Host Pool Lab. So before we start a lab, just let me tell you that host pool creation is very simple and we'll see in the lab that how we're going to create that. And before jump into the lab, let's just go through the definition and then we'll perform the lab. So host pool are a collection of one or more identical virtual machines, also known as session host, within the Azure Virtual Desktop environment. Each host pool can contain an app group that users can interact with as they would on a physical desktop. Right, so guys, and then we will see the prerequisites for that. So we require, while we creating a lab, so we require one domain controller in the Azure, right? So basically domain controller is very important, right? Because where you will be creating the users, you need to create the users in the domain controller, and then and also the machines will also be join the domain. So we require domain controller. Then we'll create some users in the ID. Then we'll sync those users from Azure, from on-prem AD to Azure Active Directory, because you cannot the users which you created on the on-prem Active Directory cannot directly authenticate it from the on to actually to AVD, right? So basically, so you require to create a user on-prem Active Directory, and then these users needs to be sync from on-prem to Azure Active Directory. Then users will be authenticated on WVD, or they will be able to access their applications. Then we need to create a VNet and the DNS configuration. So basically, what we'll create a VNet where all the machines will be communicating with each other, and we also require a DNS to be configured on the VNet level. So what happens, guys, when the session host machines will create session host machines like in the host pool automatically, and those machines will automatically join to the domain. You don't require to join the machine's domain. You don't require to join the machine into the domain manually. If you if you join the machine manually, then again there will be no use, right? So those machines will automatically join the domain automatically. And but how they will join these machines to the domain? So that DNS is required, right? So DNS configuration is very important, and that will be configured on the VNet, not inside the machines as manual. Okay. And then we will create host pools. Then we'll publish the session host pools and the applications to the users, and then we will test the applications. So let's jump to the practical or to the lab. Just give me a moment. So I'll take you to the lab now. Okay, so first we'll create a machine, and we'll also create a VNet, but we can create like there only. So let's create one virtual machine. In the virtual machine, you guys might know how to create a virtual machine. It's very simple, but no worries, we'll look into it again. Create a resource group. I can create a resource group VM. I mean, this is, or whatever the name you want to give it. I'll keep it RG1, and then I create a group. I create virtual machine name VM1, or I can, this is my DC, so I'll create DC1. Then I'll create an East US, and then I can availability zone I don't require. Then I'll create a machine that will be domain controller, so that will be a server. So I'll take it like 2016, this one, B266. I'll give the username, right, and okay, RDPS, I want to give this open, then disk. I will join disk, then networking. Now here's the main part. Now by default it's create a RG-VNet, and default it's pick up the subnet, right? If you want to create your own subnet, you can create that. Okay, and then you have and then you can have basics. Next, I'll keep the other things as default. Advanced, review with the tag, and so let get reviewed. Okay, validation is passed, so it will take like 2 or 3 minutes to get created. Till the time I'll pause the video. Okay, so machine is created now. Let's go to resources, and here's our virtual machine, and you can see the name. Like we have internal IP address, private IP address is 4, and this is my public IP address, and you can just verify all the details. You can go for the networking. You can see that this is my public IP address, this is my private IP address, and this is my NIC on this one, and this is my VNet and my subnet. So my VNet is basically RG1 VNet, and subnet I have taken as a default. Okay, now we'll RDP the machine and we'll install Active Directory or domain controller role in this machine. So I'll copy the IP address, or you can download also, no issues. This IP address. Ready password. It will take 1 minute to log in, not minute. So I'm logged into the machine. Now let's go to just check the IP address and everything. CMD. Config, and this is my IP, my default gateway. Okay, so right now our DNS is default, which is coming. Okay, no issues. Right now let's go to server manager, and in the server manager go to manage, click on add roles and features, and just let's the server manager collect all the information. First let's still okay. In the roles, adding roles, click next and click next, and then you need to select Active Directory Domain Services, the second option. Add features, click next, and then restart if required. You can do it, yes, and let's install this. So it will take like 1 minute. Okay, so this is installed. Now before we promote this server to a domain controller, we require to see our domain, like the domain name that we need to create. Guys, either keep it like a custom name, like whatever you want to keep it, because you need to migrate all your users from on-premise to Azure, right? So whatever the domain you have in your Azure Active Directory, keep the same domain, right? So it will be easy for you to sync the users from on-prem to your Azure AD. Right, so let's jump to the portal for a moment, and here go for the Azure Active Directory. You can search from here, or you can, and then you can go for that. So I've already searched that, so you can go for that. Search Azure Active Directory, click on this one, and here you need to see your domain. This is my primary domain, right? In case if you don't have, I'm keeping my primary domain only, but if you want to have any custom domain, you can keep that. So Azure custom domains are here basically. So here all your domains, for example, you have some other domain, right, testlab.com for example. this is already like, for example, I added as domain, right? So this is public domain that you need to like register all your TX and everything, then it will be verified and it will take some time to verify, right? So because this is not the domain that I've purchased, so you can purchase the domain for yourself and you can register it in Azure Active Directory domain, so that would be your custom domain, right? So right now I don't have any, so what I'll do, I'll take the domain which is by default in my Azure Active Directory. So what I'll do, I'll select this and in my notepad I'll make a note of it, so it will be easy for me to copy and paste it. Okay, so this is my domain. It's a mail to Vikram for you gmail.onmicrosoft.com. This is my domain name. I'll keep it. I know that name is bigger, but I don't have any, I haven't purchased any domain, so I'm keeping my default, right? And if in case if you don't want to keep it, no problem, you can purchase your own domain also, then you can keep it as a, or you can add this as a custom domain, right? So now let's go back to our practical. So here now we need to click on the promote this server to a domain controller. Click here, then click on add a new forest, okay, the last option, and here you need to enter your domain name, your custom domain or your domain default name. So I just need to paste it. So this is the same name that I copied down here, okay, and then I click next. Then I need to provide the password here, user ID and password. So that would be only just to while we uninstalling your domain controller, then it will be required, right? So you can keep the password just to remember in case if you want to uninstall from this machine, so that will be asked, so you can just remember that. In lab guys, I keep the same password for all the machines and everywhere, so I should not forget the password. Okay, next, and then create a DNS, that's a delegation. Okay, so now by username, next, next, next. Now it will take some time to install all this. Till the time I'll just pause the video, because now no option will require to enter the name or to select any other thing, just to install this. Okay, so this is installed and it's asking for the reboot. So if I click close, then it will reboot my machine. So it will be rebooted. So let this machine come up. I'll pause the video. Okay guys, so machine is started. I'm just logging. Now I can log into this domain controller with my domain account. So basically the local account that you created, so that account will become your domain admin account. Okay, so keep the domain name and the same password. It will be login as a domain admin. So it's logging, and so first thing guys, we have to perform, go to the local server and just IE security service configuration, make it off. Right, and then you need to cross that. Okay, and just check your, right now you're getting a default DNS. So what I needs to do is, let me go to the portal, and in the portal I need to go to this virtual machine, sorry, the virtual network guys, or you can search in case we don't see here, no problem, you can search that for the virtual networks. Go to virtual networks. This was my network that I created, RG1 VNet and default VNet, sorry, the subnet that I have. So what I'll do, I will change the DNS here. My DNS is basically my 10.0.0.4, right? So basically this DNS is the IP address of your domain controller, right, which is a private IP, not the public IP. So I'll show you again. So where I got this IP. So go home and click on virtual machine. This is my DC. In the DC, if you go to the networking, or if you don't go networking, no problem, you can just these are the IPs. Basically, if you see that this is my public IP and this is my private IP. So this is my DNS, the private IP address of the domain controller is the DNS IP address. Okay, or you can just simply, if you click on overview, this private IP, you can pick it up. Okay, so if I go my virtual network again, my virtual network, and if I go to VNet, and if I see my DNS, so my DNS address is 10.0.0.4, right? So in the machine, I need to check that this DNS is supposed to reflect not the public one, or not the default one. Okay, so this, let's check. Sorry. Okay, so my DNS, which is not good, actually it's showing 127. That is not correct actually, right? So it will take some time to reflect, and what I can do, I can flush it. Config, flush DNS. It will take some time, guys, so let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Now let's check. Also still showing 127.0.0. Guys, in case if you want to troubleshoot that why the IP address for your DNS server is not coming 10.0.0.4, no problem, you can troubleshoot it. So what you can do, you can just go to your NIC card, just open that for you guys, and if you click on this one, go to properties, then go to P4, and here select your obtain DNS server address automatically. Okay, just select this and click OK. You will lose your RDP connection, but you can connect it again after rebooting it. So just click OK. Okay, you're losing the connection, no issues. Go to the portal and just go to your machine, virtual machine, open that machine and just restart it. It will be restarted. It will take 1 or 2 minutes. I'll pause the video. Okay, so seems the machine is restarted now. So let me RDP again, and okay, so this is login, and again I'll check the IP address now. You can minimize the server manager, just go to CMD IP config, now see if you guys, you see that 10.0.4 is my DNS server, right? So which is coming correctly now. Okay, right. Now after this, so your domain controller is basically is ready now. So or also you can also validate your users. You can click, you can open dsa.msc, the console for your AD console, where you can create your users. Okay, so now if you want, you can create your own users. For example, I want to create a user lab test 1. Lab test. And one user, create. Okay, no problem. You can change the password, use that. You can create one more user. You can also use a PowerShell script also to create the users. If you want to create 10 or 15 users or 100 users, you can use the PowerShell script and you can create that. But I'm just creating 2 or 3 users, so it won't take much time. So we have lab test 2. Okay, now these 2 users are created. Now if I want this users supposed to be into the Azure Active Directory, if you go to Azure Active Directory, if I open the portal and if I go home, Azure Active Directory, if I create the users, and there's only one user which is my primary user, right? So this is the only user that I have. Okay, and so I want now the users which we created here, these supposed to be created, or this supposed to be sync to my Azure Active Directory. This supposed to come here. Okay, now to migrate those users, so basically, or to to sync these users from on-prem to my Azure Active Directory, I need to use a tool called Azure AD Connect. So I'll download that, and I already have a link. I'll share that link uh, in the video, so in the video description. So what I'll require is I'll just copy that. I can now open Explorer. I can open that link. Oh, no problem. So at this kind of message sometimes you get, so what you require, simply go to a server manager. Machine is slow. Open the server manager, go to local. Okay, so you just actually once you install the domain or your domain controller, then it's basically moved to the previous stage. So click OK, cancel that. Sorry, just refresh it. So make it off. Right? So once this is your IE enhanced security configuration is off, then your browser will directly open the link. It will not ask you to add into your your trusted domain or something. So I'll show you that. So right now if I open the browser and if I just directly go and download the link, open the link, then it will directly open the link, right? So here I have to download this one. So I'll save it. I'll keep it in the document, Azure AD Connect, and 30%. Let me get downloaded. Okay, now the download. Okay, fine. Here you have. You just minimize everything, right? Now guys, before you run the AD Connect, now you require two things. One, you require a global admin account, okay, that's supposed to be created in your Azure AD, right? Which supposed one user in AD is supposed to have a global admin access, and one is required a domain admin access, your domain account which is created on your on-prem domain. So you require two accounts. One is Azure, one user required in Azure AD, that's supposed to have a global admin access. Another, you require a user which is supposed to be in on-prem, and that's supposed to be a domain admin. Two users. Okay, so I already have one user in the domain, that is domain admin. Another, I need to create one user in the Azure AD, and I need to give a global permission. So let's go to this, guys. This is very important, otherwise your Azure AD Connect will not going to work. So I'll create a new user. I create user, for example, Chris Payne. Okay, and I don't have a custom domain, so I can see that. I can keep that as a Chris Payne. Chris Payne is the last name. Okay, and I'll generate the password. No, I'll use the password. Okay, and remaining things I will keep it as a default. Now create that. Now let's create. Now this account has been created. Now I need to assign a role to this user as a global admin. So I'll go to this user, click on this user. Okay, then go to assigned role. Okay, so right now if you see that there is no role assigned to this user, this is a normal user. So go to add assignment, and from here select the global administrator, right? So select this global administrator and click on add. So if you refresh that after adding it, it's supposed to come here that this user has now Chris Payne has a global administrator access. So you can check it again. Go to users, go to, for example, if you go to directory, then go to users. So now you have another user called Chris Payne, and if you go and want to see that what role this user has, go to this user, click on this user, and if you see that, just click on the assigned roles. In assigned roles you have a global administrator. Okay, so guys, now let's go to the domain controller and just sync the users from on-prem AD to Azure AD. Okay, so I'll go to the document folder where I download my Azure AD Connect, and here I need to right click on that and install it, or you can just double click on that, run it, and let it run. And you can just copy the full name of the user. So you can go here, you can go to user again, Chris Payne. If you click on this, so the complete name for the user is with the FQDN name for this user is principal name, sorry, user principal name is this. You can also copy into the notepad. Keeping the notepad, guys, easy for you, that what you require, right? So I just copied here, and this is copied already. So I'll go here. So here is the window, right? So now it's asking the agreement. Yes, I say yes, I agree, and here click on the user express settings. Then I clicked on, and so here now we need to enter the global. Guys, just read that. Enter your Azure AD global administrator or hybrid identity administrator credentials. So global administrator. Who is the global administrator I created? Chris Payne. I enter that and I enter the password. Okay, so it will be asking to reset the password because I haven't reset it yet. Or if you want, you can reset this before like log into directly to Azure AD Connect. You can log into portal and you can reset the password. So it will ask you for the authentication once again. So I need to enter the email address once again, the same email address. Click next, and if I enter the password, then it will ask me for the reset the password. If you already reset it, then it will not ask. Okay, so it's examining the domain. Okay, now here we required a domain admin account which is on-prem. Okay, so you can see from here also. If I go my admin account name, I have this account, and this account has my domain admins. Vikram, and remember, if you can see that it's my enterprise domain admins. You can create a new user for yourself. Okay, so I create this only, and this account has a domain admin, so this is my account. So I'll create that. Sorry, user will be, my user will be this is my domain. Select from here, /Vikram, right? And the password is now. It will take some time, so click agree on that, continue to UPN suffix, next, and it will take somewhere around 3 or 4 minutes. Click install. So let me just put the visual pause. So now pause. It will take 2 to 3 minutes time. Okay, so this is finished, and I'll click exit. Okay, now we'll go to Azure Active Directory, and we will check that users got synced or not. Okay, so let's go to Azure Active Directory, and let's go to the users default Active Directory. Here we have to go to the, or you can go from beginning, go home, go to Azure Active Directory, then go to the users. Here the users, now the users has not yet showing me. No problem, refresh it. I think it will take some time. So now refresh 2 or 3 times, then now it's showing me lab test and lab test 2, right? So there are 2 users now showing me. So these users are successfully sync from from on-prem AD to my Azure AD, right? So this is good sign. Now let's go to the, now let's jump to my this is my, I'll close all the windows here, and now we'll create a host pool. Okay, very simple. Click here, go to the, now here we need to click AVD, Azure Virtual Desktop. So first option comes to Azure AVD. Go here. First we'll create a workspace, then we'll create a host pool, and then inside that we'll create an application. So go to workspace. Let's create, or you can also create a workspace later as well. Okay, so let's set the same resource group. Workspace name I can keep it like workspace AVD. Okay, friendly name I can also give this same name. East US I can keep it the same region. Want application advanced review and create. Okay, so let's create it. Should not take much time. Okay, so now it's created. You can go to workspace and you can check all the, which is my resource group, like activity log, anything you want to check that, you can check that now. Okay, and so the name is WSAVD, workspace AVD. Now let's go for the go home once again, then go to virtual desktop and now create the host pool. Create a host pool. You can create the same, like my RG is my resource group. Host pool name you can keep it like HP AVD. This is my host pool name, East, and select the host pool type. I'll select it pooled host, and I'll keep it like breathe first and the maximum limit. So breathe first, guys, we have two options. One is like we have breathe first and we have a depth first. So breathe first, for example, if I have 4 sessions in my pool, so my sessions will go to first session will go to first one, second session will go to second one, third session will go to third one, fourth session will go to fourth one, right? Now if you talk about the depth one, if we have, for example, if we have this one, this depth first, so in that what happens, like for example, I have 4 session hosts in the pool and I have a session limit of 20. So the session limit, first of all the session limit will go to first server, then second server, then third and fourth. For example, we have 20 sessions supposed to get connected, or like we have more sessions. So first it will be 20 sessions will be connected to server 1, then another 20 will be second, and the 20 will be third and fourth, like this. So it will fill first server, then it will fill second server, then it will fill third server, then fourth server, not one by one. All the servers, all the session hosts, limit session hosts will be go to the first one, right? So this is now I need to create the virtual machines. Create in add Azure virtual machines, you need to click yes. So here, like I can create the name, I can create it like VM AVD and 0102. It will come like this. East US availability zone, I wouldn't want to keep that. This first section, then standard gallery, I can keep it like image in the gallery. I can keep a multi-session machine because it's a window 10. I'll keep it a multi-session machine. So I'll keep it like 10, and number of machines, I'll create 2 machines. Then I'll create a virtual network, RG1 default, and this is my version, network basic, fine. Now inbound rules I don't want to create now. Now I need to create my active directory. Remember this, select which active directory would you like to join. So guys, remember that your machines always join to your on-premise active directory. Okay, and then I need to provide my UPN name of my on-prem active directory domain account. So I can keep the same account. So this is like this one, password. And this is my local account user ID and password. If you want to RDP this machine as a locally, for example, it has some issues and this machine is not available in the domain and my domain accounts are not working, my credentials are not working on this machine, then I can log into this machine with a local account. I can keep the same, I can keep it whatever account you want to keep it. I always keep my same user ID and password, so it will be easy for me to remember. Does not match. Let me put it up once again. And let's go to workspace. Now click yes and select a workspace that we just created. So here we created workspace, WVD, advanced, tags, review. So you can review it. Breathe first we have, you can create that, and now you can review it. Let's get it reviewed and it's validated. Now let's create it. So again, it will take like now 15 to 20 minutes, right, to create your two machines in the host pool. So in the meantime, I'll keep the video pause. Okay guys, so this is created. Now let's go to the resources. So if you go to the host pool and or the resources, so if you see that there's a session host machines, you can click there session host, and if you see that there are two session hosts which are ready, VM AVD 01, sorry 0 and 01, right? So now what we require is, we can see that the application group we have, this is the application group which is created by default. This HPAVD DAG is the name of application group, and then if you click on that application group, the application which is by automatically that's like one assigned one application, that's you can click on that application. So by default it's published the session host, right? So first we will launch the session host, then publish more applications like Notepad or Word, Excel, whatever you want to publish, we'll see that. So first, which is installed or which is published by default, we will check that name is session host, and we need to give the access that who all the users will be able to access this application. So go to the assignment, let's go from beginning, go to the Azure virtual desktop, go to my application group, click on here and click on the assignments. And remember that guys, we always give the access in the application group only. Applications reflect in application groups only, right? So what I'll do, I'll go to assignments and add the users. My users are lab test 0, lab test, sorry, wrong spelling, lab test. I'll add both the users, lab test and lab test 2. Okay, so now both the users are added. Okay, just refresh it. Okay, now let's open the URL. So let me I'll mention in the description the URL. So RD web and client, I'll put it's not correct. I'll keep this into the description. Let me log into this one. Another user is lab test 2. I'll pick up the domain name. Next, password. refresh it. Oh. Which user is coming? Oh, this is not the correct user. This is my user actually, guys. It's my browser issue actually. So I'll refresh that. Just a second. I'll open in incognito. So now here I'll enter the user. No, so this is not the user. I'll enter the user lab test 2 and the domain name. Password. Okay, see guys, so I can see that session host, I can see that. So what I'll do, I'll open that, allow, and I'll enter the password once again. So see guys, it's logged in. Okay, and it's connected now. So now what is required is, okay, now go to the now go to the host, session host, and see your sessions where session is got connected. Host pool, go to here, go to your session host, and the session host, the session is on 01. So because we have taken breathe first, so it will go to first and then it will go to second. Okay, so let's go for the another user. Let's me open another user. So the URL I need to enter. This is my another user, and no, not this user. I want to log in lab test 1. That's not removing the cache. We'll log this out completely, and I'll enter the lab test 1. Domain name. Okay, let's launch this also. Okay, this is also launched now. And so when I have for user lab test 2 and this is for lab test 1, right? Let's get completed, then we will check both the sessions. Okay, so both are logged in. Now let's go to the portal, and if I refresh it, now see I have session 1 and on 2. I have both the sessions, like now sessions on both the servers, right? Now I don't know what if I have if another problem is, like for example, I want that all the sessions supposed to go to server 1 only, not to this one. So that is also I can just simply click on this and put this into the drain mode. Now if I put this server in the drain mode, then no session will be connected to this session host server, to this machine, right? Only it will be connected to virtual machine 2 or session host machine 2, not to the one drain mode. And if I want to see the users, you can see the users also, and who all your users are coming, like these are the name. Click on the users, this is the users which is connected, and you can also connect this, or you can log off the user from here. You can just select that, and if you just right click on this one, is that log off from the, you can see at the top, like now this will remove from the host, notify users. If I send the message, if I want, before logging off, if I want to send a message to the user, that is also I can do that. So for example, if for the left test 2, I'll send a message. So I want to send a message, please log off, we are going to reboot the session host machine in next 5 minutes, please log off. So if I send this message, and lab 2 user will supposed to receive this message. If I send this message, and if I go to that this one, if I go to user lab test 2, now see, please log off, we are going to reboot the session host machine in the next 5 minutes, please log off. So you'll get this message. So we have to log off the user. If still user is not logging off, and we have to log off the user, so again we need to go to the portal, go to the portal, and we can log off the user from here. We can force log off the user, so we can force it. So it's logging off, we can see here, see it's logging off the user from here, right? So very simple ways. So this is one thing. Second is basically if you want to test, let me log off both the users right now. Users, and now I need to publish the applications. So let's go to the AVD, go to the application group. Okay, in the application group, either I create a new application group or I can same application group. So if I go to the applications, on the application that I have session host, then I'll create one more application. Start the application from the start menu, adder. So it's saying that there is no active MIX package in the host pool for AVD. I said okay, no problem, right? So what are you going to create a new app group. If you want to add some more users or need to provide some more applications apart from session host, we can do that. So let's create one more application group. We want to create application group for the finance applications. I'll create in the same host pool. Okay, and this time I'll take a remote app, not the desktop. So I'll create like finance applications, finance apps. Assignment, I can assign at the applications. So at the applications I want to keep, for example, I want to add notepad, right? Edit, and I want to add one more application that's supposed to be WordPad. Okay, fine. And I click next assignment, whom I want to give the access. I can give the access from here also, from there also, right? So I can lab test user. I can add my one user. I add from here, one user I'll directly add from there, the portal. Okay, so I add one user. Lab test is added. Go to workspace. I need to add my same workspace. Oh, my workspace is not create. Okay, my workspace is. It will pick up advanced tag review and create it. So it will take some time. I'll just pause it for a minute. Okay, so this is created now, and I go to resources. These are my app group, right? From here also you can see those app groups, or you can go again, go to the Azure Active Azure Virtual Desktop. Go here, and then we will the host pool or the application group. Now I have two application group. One is financial apps and this one for the host pool. So let me just open the app group, and I can see the applications. Click on the applications. I can see two applications. One is Notepad, another is WordPad. Let me add one more application. So I want to add the application, for example, snipping tool or anything. Let me do a snipping tool. Okay, let me add it. And now I'll check the assignment, whom these applications are assigned to. I'll go to assignment. So this application assigned to lab test. I'll gonna assign this user lab test 2. So this seems to be assigned. So all are assigned now. So now the time is to test the applications. So let me just go here, and let me just refresh this. You can re-log in also, you can do it, right? But I'm just refreshing it, and let's see after refreshing, do I get the list of the applications or not. So see, all the applications are here. Users have a notepad, snipping tool, WordPad, session host pool. So let me just launch any of the application. Let me launch Notepad. So the Notepad. Now see guys, it's launching fine, right? And if I want to launch the other applications, for example, I want to launch a snipping tool. If I click on this one, snipping tool, WordPad. See, snipping tool is opened, WordPad is open. All the applications are opened so quickly, right? So this is the end of this video. However, let me just give the brief idea or the task that we completed. So basically, first we create a domain controller, and in the domain controller we created the users. Then we sync those users from on-prem AD to Azure AD. In that we created, while we're doing that, we download a Azure AD Connect tool. With the help of that, we sync the users from on-prem AD to Azure Active Directory. So while to sync, we required two. We required two accounts. One was Azure AD Global Admin, and one was on-prem domain admin account. And after that, we created a host pool, and we create an app group. We create a workspace, right? And users is able to launch the applications from from both the session host machines. We publish the applications, and we publish the host pool as well, right? So this is what I have in this video today. So if you think that this video is informative for you guys, you can go ahead and you can like, or you can subscribe it, or you can share it if you want. And thank you very much for your time. Thank you.